show. It's Donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. That's right. That's right. Welcome back, folks, to a Super Bowl reactions, Super Bowl halftime show reactions. There's a bunch of those of varying opinions. Notre Dame hits a home run with the running back coach hire, apparently. Maybe. Is it a done deal? I don't know. People are saying that hire's happening. Is that a done deal? And the GM search is ongoing. It's never boring in Notre Dame land. Part 576874. Edition video with Iris. All in show. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on. That way. SPF. We'll get to it. Notifications on. That way you don't miss nothing. Twitter. Search bar. Always Irish. Always Irishing. Emails. Always irishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody blames you for that. How do you think I feel? Call-in lines. 312-988-15. Dial it up. Tell Uncle Johnny all you've heard and seen. Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Brought to you by SI. Read all about it. Got something for you every day. Patreon.com/Always Irish. He the former captain. He the leading tackler. Mike Goolsby, myself, and Coach Jared Clark breaking it all down. We'll do the Patreon Monday Night Raw live tonight at 7 o'clock. Bring your questions and comments for the captain. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. I want to know. It's the last bit of real football we're going to have for a while. So I want to know anything you thought about the football game, the halftime show, whatever it is. We may as well get it out of our system because we ain't going to have football for a long, long time. My hair's not growing back. It just seems like it after the season. I get a little less stressed. I'm not as stressed out. And so my hair's just growing back. When I shave the beard, I look 20 years younger. I literally look 20 years younger. I don't have that gray, that white gray coming out. So welcome in, folks. We got a few callers. I'm going to get to the callers early and not make you guys wait. I'm going to go over my Super Bowl take, and then we'll bring it to the callers. We'll see what you guys think, and then we'll do what I have to do after that if we have time, Sly. You guys are funny. All right, let's get through this. I got callers I want to get to. I'm just going to do my really brief Super Bowl thing here, and then and give some credit for the running back hire if it gets done. So here's number one. Why is it the Super Bowl on a Saturday night? Can anybody answer that? I don't understand why. Why is the Super Bowl not on a Saturday night where people could actually party and not have to worry about work in the morning, or make it where Monday's like the National Football Day off or something? No, I don't watch any pregame of anything. It includes Notre Dame, the NFL. I don't gain one single thing. I turn games on when the kickoff starts now. I have no need for any of this pregame stuff. I never learned anything. And if it's an injury thing, I'm seeing it on Twitter before they announce it on the TV anyways. So I don't watch any of that stuff. Why is it not on a Saturday night? I don't understand it. And in college, when you ask why is the championship not on a Saturday night, you would say, well, the NFL takes over Saturday night for their playoffs, right? And so that's where they split it and they start doing Saturday, Sunday. So then you could be like, well, college doesn't want to mess with competing with the NFL if they're going to be on a Saturday night. Do it on a Friday. I don't care. Notre Dame played a playoff game on a Friday and everybody loved it. Why can't the championship game be on a Friday night? Yeah, move it to President's Day weekend. Can you do something to find another week or whatever that is, and then everybody can have that Monday off. Do whatever you need to do. I don't understand why they make it kind of inconvenient. So I don't understand why that's the way it is. That's the Super Bowl's got to be on a Sunday. If you did it on a Saturday, it would ruin everything. I just don't believe that. You could make a big party of it if it's on a Saturday. I don't know. Or maybe I'm old and people party and don't care that it's a Sunday and nobody thinks about it. I don't know. Phil says they're moving it to President's Day week soon. That makes so much sense. Here's the other thing. Watching this game it reaffirmed something. The NFL is undoubtedly a higher quality of played football. Fine. It just doesn't have the juice college football has. I'm sorry. I know I'm biased. It does not have the juice college football has. Cold and corporate. It's just not for me, man. It is just not for me. This NFL stuff. I can't get excited about it. I can't get excited about it. I just think it's just a cold, corporate, sleepy. To me, I can't get excited about the NFL game. God bless the double lovers. I would be so dead. I would be just gone. If I was the way I am about Notre Dame on a Saturday and the way I am about Notre Dame with the Bears on a Sunday, there's no way I'd be here. There's absolutely no way I would be here. John, you don't like the multiple lady guy. I have no idea what you're talking about. I saw her singing before the game and I had it on mute when all the NFL big shots were walking down a shady alley in New Orleans. I have no idea. I had it on mute for a reason. I'm not doing it. No, whatever that was, I saw it with Roger Goodell walking down a street. Ooh, no. Whatever, man. So now that Virginia McCaskey passed away, maybe the kids will sell the Bears to a team that cares about winning. I have no idea, but I just can't find it in me to get juiced up about the NFL. It just isn't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So I don't know, whatever, man. Like that's just where I'm at with it. I thought the game was lame. But like, who's going to feel bad for Patrick Mahomes and what the Chiefs did? They've won a couple Super Bowls. We're like, who feels bad for them? And then it's kind of like the Ohio State thing where you're rewarding a bad group of fans with the championship. So, you know what I mean? The way Philly people act rude to everybody, and then you reward all of their attitude and everything. It's just whatever. Whatever, man. Very briefly, the halftime show. This has been a debate early morning here, okay? I couldn't understand a damn word that guy was rapping. Not a single word. I couldn't understand a word. And this is not, I'm going to stop you now. This is not like, oh, John, you're a lame old white guy and you're going to hate all the hip hop because that's the way you are. No, I like hip hop, but I couldn't understand a single word this guy was saying the whole time. And his pants drove me absolutely bonkers. Did you see this guy's pants? He had like bell bottoms on that opened at the bottom, and the whole thing, his whole pant was wrapped around the bottom of his shoe. It absolutely drove me nuts looking at this guy's bell-bottom pants, but the bottom went all the way underneath his shoe. I don't know what you're doing. I got it. Okay, SPF. Thank you. Callers, I'm coming to you. The audio was terrible, but believe me, Kendrick is not a mumble rap. Dude, SPF, I had this moment of feeling like an 80-year-old where I'm raising the volume, yelling at the TV. I turn it up, hon. I can't understand a word they're saying. I could not comprehend a single word that guy rapped. I had no idea. He killed it. How would I know? I couldn't understand what he was saying. What do you mean? He killed it. You couldn't understand a word. This is not John is an old white guy and he's going to hate everything in hip hop because that's his thing. No, I've been bumping Snoop Dogg's greatest hits CD for 20 years. And I know every word. I can understand the words Tupac was saying. I could understand what Snoop was saying. I could understand what Dr. Dre's lyrics were. I could not understand a word the guy was saying. Oh, we're talking about this beef between him and Drake. Well, I wish I could understand what it was about. I was turning up the volume going, dude, is it just me or is he speaking a different language? I honest to God could not understand a single word. And so I just don't get it, man. And the other thing is when you're saying the audio is terrible, he's not a mumble rapper. Everybody knows none of these shows are done live. They're not singing live. It's a pre-recorded thing and they just move their mouth. They're not actually rapping or singing. Everybody understands that, right? It's pre-recorded on a track and they just move their mouth. That applies to all of them. So you're telling me he's not, the audio was, there's no excuse for that when he's not even singing it live. Turn it up a notch. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. It is not live. None of those guys do live. None of them are live. None of them. It's in the contract. None of them are live. It looks like it, but they're not. You ever notice the group when they actually have music people that have instruments, the guitars aren't even plugged in? Remember that was a big deal when the Chili Peppers were out there and people noticed Flea's guitar wasn't plugged in? And then their fans were like, dude, you guys did the Super Bowl and you didn't even do it live? And they're like, yeah, they wouldn't let us. Whatever. It's not even plugged in. So Flea's out there fake flipping that bass and it ain't even plugged in. So I don't know, man. Whatever. He was live, but he was just terrible. I just wanted to understand the words. I like hip hop. I just wanted to understand the words. And I had that moment where I had to turn up the TV and go, I can't hear it. Somebody turn it up. I thought the guy was speaking Mandarin. I couldn't understand. I'm just getting old, man. Oh, man, this beef between him and Drake is really getting hot. How would you know? It wasn't from those songs. Yeah, Andrew, I was going to say that too, but I didn't want to get it started. I don't think you can expect to see Kanye West at the Super Bowl anytime soon. I don't know. Yeah, whatever, man. It was weird stuff. And then we'll do a couple of these chats and then we'll go right to the calls. We'll see what you guys think. The Super Bowl sucked as always. Decent commercials this year. I had no dog in the fight. I have nothing for or against either of these teams. I genuinely didn't care. Just wanted a good game. You didn't really get it. No Ohio State callers today. I'm trying to start my week off right. Let's have a nice little Monday. And the Taylor Swifts didn't win. It's hard to feel bad for them, man. They've had a lot of success. It's not like, oh, we made it there and they'll never get a Super Bowl. Mikey Poles, happy birthday. Always Irish security. Happy birthday. I pray to God Johnny doesn't give any cold takes about the halftime show. It was amazing. Do you have a decoder? Can you translate so a normal person can understand the words? I can't understand you. Kendrick's one of the greatest artists of all time, and he has a Pulitzer Prize. Is that supposed to translate the words so I can understand him yesterday? I just can't. I was trying to understand what the guy was saying. People are saying he has so many good songs he didn't play. That's the other thing, you guys. Paul McCartney, you do not have to be a Beatles fan to know those songs. Michael Jackson could not be your type of music. You know the songs. Like Chili Peppers, even Snoop Dogg, like The Who. All of these bands, you don't like Tom Petty, Bon Jovi, like whatever. You don't need to even be a fan of the music and you know the songs. That's how you get the Super Bowl. I don't feel like Kendrick's that well known that regular people that aren't a fan of his music know some of the songs. I thought that used to be the bar to play at the Super Bowl. Was that you were so big, even people that don't seek out your music know your music. That can't be said for this. And it should have been Lil Wayne if you're doing it in New Orleans. If you're doing it in New Orleans, it should have been Wayne. So I don't know. Whatever, man. What do I know? I'm just an old white dude in my basement. I wanted to like it. I just couldn't understand what he was saying. I still don't understand how he didn't do any of his hits. Swimming pools, money trees. It makes no sense. I don't know, man. Swimming pools, good beat. You could have got me a little bit with that beat from Swimming Pool. You didn't do nothing. I couldn't understand. I can't understand you. I couldn't understand the guy. The B&G tailgate is going to be in front of Frank Leahy. People are asking, is it going to be in the north lot? We're going to do in front of Frank Leahy in the main stadium lot. You don't need to pay for a parking pass or any of that stuff. It's not as crowded and chaotic. So we just do it right in front of Frank Leahy. I try and line up there somewhere in that area. It's free to get in. It's free to park. It's not as stressful as a regular game. And so we're going to do that. North lot's good for the regular games because you don't spend 4.5 hours waiting to take a leak at the portalet the way you do at the stadium lot for an actual game. And I don't have the time when I'm hosting a tailgate to spend half the hours we have standing in a line. I'm not doing it. Steven. So it's going to be in the main lot right by Frank Leahy. Worst halftime performance ever. $700 on boxes. $700 is pretty good. Pretty good. I wasn't sure how deep your love for the North Lot was. For actual games, I have a lot of love for it because of that P line. But for this, you don't really need to worry about that. So that's going to be the deal. But I'm glad we covered it. Eric, $5 hour. That game sucked last night. It was a snoozer. I'm just saying, it was a snoozer. $2 hour, Caden the man. He is back. Did you enjoy the Buckeyes from Anthony? I'm not eating that stuff. It's got Ohioanide in it. I'm not eating that stuff. Are you outside your mind? It even has the plastic wrapper. I don't know if I can trust it. They do look good. I'm looking at them down here, but I don't know, man. John Moore, I missed the days when rock bands would do the halftime show. I honestly just thought callers were coming to you. I honestly just thought the Super Bowl halftime show had to be a star so big, people who don't even like their music know their music. You cannot say that about Kendrick. That is so niche. You really got to be into modern, not even hip hop overall, but modern hip hop. And up with all of the drama to be into what that was. And I don't see that compared to like Paul McCartney, Tom Petty, Michael Jackson, Snoop and Dre. Like, that's big where you don't even have to like the music and you know the songs. I just can't. I'm old. Andrew Gilmore. What good rock bands are under 60 now? It would be an old timers reunion. Like, I know it would be an old timers reunion. $2 hour from Caden. It's a gift from Anthony Thomas and me. You definitely don't have my address, Caden. I can verify that. You definitely do not have my address. Oh, all right. Little bit of news, and then we'll go to the callers. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. So apparently, I'm going to make this quick, and then we'll go to the callers. So apparently, Notre Dame is looking to hit a home run with the running back coach. Dealing at the NFL, Notre Dame closing in on a deal. Apparently, it's done in a way that the GM thing was not. With, is it Juwan Cider? Is it Cedar? Looks like Cedar, Juwan Cedar from Penn State. Really good recruiter. beat out Notre Dame for Singleton, right? Remember that was a whole thing. Notre Dame wanted Singleton. He ended up going there. So they end up winning that battle. Creative usage of multiple backs. That sounds great to me. Yeah, get Pinkfoot, do a laser show or whatever, and get Gilmore out there, and let's do a Pink Floyd light show or something to get this, let you trip everyone out and do a big light show thing, some trippy Pink Floyd, and then find somewhere to insert a modern guy into it somewhere. Do that, man. Do something trippy with a light show, Pink Floyd, whatever. Do something like that. I don't know. I'm getting wild. Using multiple backs at the same time at Penn State was a big part of what they did. This seems like a home run, great hire for Notre Dame. And if you think about his ability to be able to find ways to get multiple backs out there, maximize what they can do, maximize the confusion and the looks that you're showing. I know I thought about that, Andrew. Those guys are fighting. They do not get along. Pink Floyd has some problems. And so this seems like a home run hire for Notre Dame. If you're going to replace a running back guy and one that we liked, I mean, you could actually argue maybe there's some real upside here. If you are able to, get a guy that looks at the running back room slightly differently, good recruiter. And then if he finds more creative ways to get our guys the ball or create confusion, or if he's able to lean on, if he's able to highlight Love a little more, like, I'm open to this. So it seems like Notre Dame's hitting a home run with that one. He was one of the top names out there. And it just seems like a good fit. So looks like that would be a home run. As for the GM deal, who knows? Is anybody seeing any names for GM that we haven't already discussed? Like, I have no idea. I have no idea. So I don't know. I don't know where you go at GM. It's really hard. You don't know that market the way everybody knows the coaching market, like the head coaching market or whatever. Like, you just don't know who the other good GM names are. So it's hard to talk about. It's hard to do. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do there. But this running back thing, good job, man. This is a top guy, highly thought of guy, known as a good recruiter, creative way to use multiple backs. This seems like a really comfortable, good Notre Dame fit. So if this goes through and it's done, D-Lo says, I'm definitely liking what I'm hearing about him. GM deal still in the air. Should be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. So whatever, man. It seems like a good job with the running back. The GM thing, I'm a little worried about. I just don't know where you go after you didn't get Blanchard when all your attention was put on Blanchard. I don't know where you go. So that's interesting. All right. If you are on hold, you're going to be on the air. Mark with glasses, start us off. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. I'm a Browns fan, so we've never been in the Super Bowl. We'll never be in the Super Bowl. But having said that, that Super Bowl did suck. It was terrible. And you know, the commercials sucked. I hate watching games on Fox because they love these cartoon graphics, and that whole death, like Bradshaw and Howie and all those guys, they need that whole operation needs to hang it up. And for some reason, Gronk, he's shoved in our faces all the time. Like, he can barely string two sentences together. I don't know who he's for.
You know what he is, man? I honest to God, Mark, think that he is like, kind of like a little toy, like that you throw a bone for the simple people watching. And it's like, there's our meathead football guy that we could kind of just use as like a punch dummy. It kind of comes off that way to me. Like, let's throw a bone to the simple-minded meathead football people. It kind of like, and then he plays into it. That's kind of how it comes off to me.
Yeah, like McAfee's at least funny. Like Gronk reminds me of like Frankenstein when he's out there. Like he's not contributing anything. It's very weird how he's just shoved down our throats. But like watching the game when it was 34-0, I thought Brian Kelly was coaching KC. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, but
it didn't even
dude,
look like the game.
I do not feel bad for them. Like this was not like, oh, this program finally got to the Super Bowl and they haven't won it and been there in 30 years and this is their only chance. Those guys have won Super Bowls, so I don't feel bad for them at all. And then all of all the jerk Philly fans win, and now their egos are full, and they're still probably lighting the city on fire today. So it's just whatever, man. You know who, Mark? You know who's bugging me? Who gets more football attention than they should? That I don't understand. The other Kelsey brother, not the one that plays for the Chiefs. The other one's in every commercial now. Yeah. What? I don't understand, Mark. I don't
think they're trying to be the Manning brothers or something.
I don't get it, Mark. Is he supposed to be hilarious or something? He's in every commercial now. Is it because they just want Taylor Swift's boyfriend's brother in as much? He's in all these commercials, and I don't understand. He's not like funny. I don't get it.
Yeah, apparently if you have a brother, you can be famous. So
I don't get it. I don't get that.
You're spot on about the halftime show. That guy stunk. I don't think I even heard him rhyme anything.
Mark, so, I tried, man.
He kind of sound like
I tried
or something.
I tried, Mark. I wanted to understand it. I vaguely knew there was that beef between him and Drake. I'm like, can I understand what's going on? Maybe they turn the volume up later, but the first few songs, I not only did not recognize, I honestly could not understand a single word the man was saying. And I couldn't quit looking at his stupid bell-bottom pants that went 90 inches too long. I just couldn't. How can you say he killed it when no one can understand the words? I don't get it.
Yeah, I guess get it. He's too cool for us, I guess.
But Mark, is he big enough to do the Super Bowl? Do you understand what I'm saying when it's like, you don't have to like the Beatles to know those songs. You don't have to like Michael Jackson to know those songs, or Tom Petty or Snoop and Dre. You got to be at a certain level of commonplace where people that don't even like your music know your music. You can't say that about Kendrick.
Yeah, and I keep seeing on Twitter where they're explaining, like, this means this, and he said this, and this is pointed at so-and-so, and who cares?
I don't know.
It sucks.
We're old. I'm getting old, Mark. I'm turning up the volume, leaning into the TV like a 90-year-old. Hon, turn it up. I can't understand what they're saying. It didn't help.
Really.
It didn't help. So I don't know. I don't know, man. You're never going to please everybody. I understand that. And the other thing is, when you bring out other guests, people should know who they are. Who's that girl out there singing? I have no idea. It wasn't Mariah Carey or nothing that nobody I know. I just didn't understand. No. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm old.
I don't know who that was either.
I'm old.
Yeah, but the running back hire that I guess his name's Jawan Fighter. I did watch some videos on him, and there's a Penn State, I think it's on 3 channel, and they were talking about it, and they said he was just recognized as the best recruiter in college football by Rivals. And then I tried finding what he was referencing. All I could find was he was recognized as one of the best recruiters in college football. But, he's got a little offensive coordinator experience. And then Penn State has a couple practice videos where he's mic'd up, and he seems like he's like a real kind of hands-on teacher. And I think he played quarterback in college. But big picture, I think this goes to Freeman's, like, not having an ego where he can bring in these, like, highly respected assistant coaches and not, like, be kind of worried about it. But he was top 10 recruiter by On3 a couple times the last couple years. So I think that's good news.
Yeah, I think it is too. I remember when they beat out Notre Dame for Singleton. That was a big win for them. I like, Mark, the possibility you may you may find with this guy a different way to look at Notre Dame's running back usage. Find a way to get multiple backs out there at the same time. Find different ways to use them. Get creative. Use some confusion. Like,
Right.
I don't know, but I am open to the idea that maybe he brings a different way to set up the way that running back usage looks, and I'm interested in that.
Yeah, and I was trying to do some research on like the GM hire. I was trying to see like what everybody else is doing, and like Andrew Luck is a GM, and he was an architecture major. And if you look at all the other GMs at these other schools, nobody's heard of any of these guys. So, like, who's to say? I don't know.
Yep.
I can't make sense of like who these guys are, what their requirements are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know what to
it's
make
really,
of it.
dude, you're right. And I don't know when I say this every day. I don't know when the article is going to post, but I wrote one yesterday morning, and I was discussing how it's a little uncomfortable to think about the GM hire as a fan, because you're not even exactly sure the candidate pool and what exactly you're looking for and what the top priorities are and who's involved. The way we think about assistant and head coaches, where a lot of them, the names, right? Like, the names and you're like, oh, I think this of this guy and that of that guy. But when it comes to GM, it's such a newer role. I'm just not sure anybody knows exactly what they're looking for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then last thing on my way out, I don't know what got into them, but USC Twitter, I don't know what's going on, but they're, going at KVA's mom's mentions, and they're all over the place about, ever since they got Chad, and, that fan base is so weird. They're 15-11 the last 2 years. They're paying that coach $110 million. They've lost 6 of the last 7 to us, and they're all over Twitter talking trash.
Yeah.
Now they're overpaying GM, and they just keep throwing money at the problem. And they're going at all these players' parents on Twitter, like trying to steal them. I don't understand, because they got time to be all over Twitter, but they don't have any time to go to their actual games.
Yeah, listen, man. Chad is a Chad. Chad is a Chad in all of the negative ways. People call people a Chad. He is a total Chad. It's everything that gets done in Hollywood is a joke. None of it is what it seems. None of it is real. It is phony. It is fake. It is temporary. It is fraudulent. It's a front. Like, they are the weirdest fan base that I can't take seriously. They run their mouths on Twitter, and then game day shows up and there's 17 people in the crowd. Like, I just can't take it seriously. And I'm sorry, man. Like, Chad didn't exactly reach my expectations of Notre Dame recruiting under Freeman. Under Chad, we're not even in the top 10 every year. So to me, there's still room to improve for Notre Dame's recruiting, and all of his love for USC. It just means more. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you're going to go to USC and then use the SEC's phrase to say why? Like, he's being weird. They're being weird. They have me blocked on Twitter, so I'm not even able to interact with the official USC program account. It's just, they all run their mouths, and on game day, there's 17 people there. It's the weirdest thing out there, man.
Yeah, as if we didn't need another reason to hate USC, but that's all I got. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, yeah, it's good to talk to you, Mark. Have a good one, buddy. How much time you got, buddy? I can't understand you. Dude, I was doing the Dave Chappelle when Kendrick was up there. I can't understand you. I just couldn't. I thought there was something wrong with me, or I thought I was watching like the Mandarin version or something, because I could not understand a word the guy was saying. It was driving me nuts. Couldn't understand. Couldn't show. No. no idea what this is in reference to. It's not funny at all. And if you do, it's the funniest thing. Y'all want to see my face? Y'all want to see my face? He's slamming the cane. Y'all want to see my face? Oh my God, that's so funny. It just the way I can just show us your face. We want to see your face. Oh man. Oh, I can't understand you. I can't say the rest of it, but you know what? I can't understand you. Show us your face. Oh my God. That is so funny. Oh God, that's great. Oh, that's funny. Oh, geez, that's great. 415. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. 415. Good morning, sir.
John, you're bringing me back, man. The Dave Chappelle show was an absolute classic.
Oh.
And, it's one of those ones where you always feel a little like, you're like, all right, man, like a little awkward, but man, the comedic genius is just through the roof.
You know what he did, man? Here's what he was able to do. He was able to, like, in a comedic way, make you feel uncomfortable about real life stuff and bring it to light, but in a way where you could like laugh about it. He had a very unique ability to like bring that awkwardness to the forefront with real issues and then like straddle the line. It was just, it's an all-timer for me. And, I was like 20 years old and it was just the best. And I've never gotten over it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Man, as far as the Super Bowl goes, lackluster, not too much. I think I feel the same as a lot of other people. The halftime show, I literally got up, looked over and said, well, I guess this gives me a reason to clean up early. So, it didn't hit for me, but it is what it is. Last Super Bowl I missed was 87 when I was grounded and I had to like try to sneak a peek, and then try to find it. But other than that, you watch it because it's there. But at the same time, if your team's not in it, and I think, on top of it, you're just kind of touching on the corporate money and like just how business oriented it is. I mean, the ticket prices were astronomically, expensive, and it becomes one of those things where a lot of the common fan base can't enjoy it live because of that, because of the cost, nowadays. So, it dulls it out a little bit for me, but, at least we got Notre Dame, so it's all good.
Yeah, dude, I just don't have it in me to get fired up about the NFL. It seems cold and corporate. I just don't love it. I don't know, man. It doesn't hit me the way it needs to. It just doesn't. So I don't know. It's just not for me. And that's probably good because I would have a stroke if I worried about Notre Dame on a Saturday and a pro team on a Sunday. It's too much.
No, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I'm a 49ers fan, but at the same time, it's like, the Joe Montana days and Steve Young and all that kind of stuff, they've come and gone. I mean, the team that we have now, I enjoy, watching, but the amount of money that is being circulated through the NFL, through, really just professional sports in general, on a side note, for me, is just, it is so out of what I would feel is like, I don't know, comfortable, for what it is. But at the same time, those players are making, fractions of what the owners and all the corporate money that is being generated. So it goes hand in hand, but at the same time, it dulls it for me because it's like, at the end of the day, they get to go home in their, Maseratis or whatever, and all these different things. And, they shed a tear. And I'm not saying that they don't want it, but at the same time, there's, I don't feel as bad as that of when I watched Drew Tranquil on the sideline in a Cotton Bowl, crying his heart out after they lost to Clemson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just, and I'm not saying that they don't care, because I did see grown men on the Chiefs sideline crying, but it's just, compassion for it is a little bit less. That's all.
Yeah. It's just a little bit cold and corporate is the way that I will describe it. Kent, I'm with you. Kent says, I just can't believe they didn't have Lil Wayne performing in New Orleans. I thought Lil Wayne would have been an obvious choice. You could have had the Birdman out there. You could have brought the whole band back from down there. That's what I would have thought too. But I don't know, man. It was, I don't know, something to do. Super Bowl Sunday. It is what it is. I wish it was Super Bowl Saturday. But I don't know. It is what it is.
Definitely. Well, hey, as far as Notre Dame goes, boss, like I'm looking at, I gotta say, I was pumped up last night, and I'm sitting here looking at like, okay, we got this new coach, like, is it, and now listening to the beginning of your show, and you're like, well, is it a done deal? And I immediately got that gulp in my throat, like, uh-oh, like, is this going to be another one of those situations where all the reports say we have this person, but then it turns out we don't? It's like, so I'm going to try to keep my excitement down as far as, getting the quote unquote home run higher until the ink is on the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Well, especially given that when I kept reaching out about GM, people were saying Blanchard's on campus. It's going to get done. It's going to get done. And then it didn't get done. So I'm going to wait and see to make sure this one is what it is. But I will say the reporting on this one, some very prominent reporters within the Notre Dame niche and the national niche seem to be a lot more certain about this one than they ever were about Blanchard. So it seems like it's going to be him, and it seems like a great fit. If you had to replace a guy, I mean, at that spot, this is about as good as you could do, right? I don't know. Is there any other name anybody else would have wanted? I don't know.
No, I think he would actually be a fantastic fit. I mean, of course, with the recruiting side of things that everybody's talking about, look at his production. Look at the running backs he had at Penn State. Look at who he's been recruiting.
Yeah.
And I think that, he can build that same kind of rapport and those relationships within the locker room at Notre Dame. And I will say, like, looking at the Penn State fan base online and how they're talking about him and how they just feel like a gut punch to themselves for losing them or losing him to us. So, I would feel like it is a good hire, but again, proof will be in the pudding. We got to see how it all plays out. But you got to go with what you feel is going to be the best move and then just move forward.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask this. And I honestly don't know this question. How much of deciding how to utilize these backs is on Mike Denbrock and what he wants to do versus a running back coach who's like, hey, I want to do some different things and have Price and Love both out there together and do some more of this and that. Like, I don't have the answer to that. How much of it is Denbrock and what he wants to do versus the way the running back guy wants to use his running backs? I honestly don't know, and I'm asking the question.
I would say it's more, well, I would say for two reasons, it's more Denbrock's call due to the fact that Denbrock has been situated at Notre Dame. He has a game plan that he wants to implement and that he wants to put forward. And whichever running backs coach comes into the play, they're coming into the situation. It's not for them to completely turn everything upside down, or change it to something else. Now, with that being said, you have to remember that these two are going to have to work together. They're going to have to coincide and work together and make it, so that both sides understand that they're on the same game plan, that they're on the same page. So I'm sure that they're going to sit down. They're going to iron all that out. I'm not too worried about that because I think that the running back coach will come in and more than likely, be humble enough to come into a situation that he has at Notre Dame. You're coming in with an unbelievable amount of talent pool, and then not to mention who's playing now, but also who's on the docket for coming to us, in the recruiting, and just keep going with it. It's like, hey man, here you go. Just don't mess it up. This is yours to have. Like, just don't mess it up. And, it's not like we're, whatever, Vanderbilt, and we're having struggles and we win like a couple games a year. Like, we just went to the national title game. So it's not like we don't have something moving for us. So it's just like insert coach here, make sure that piece of the puzzle fits and works well. and meshes well with the mindset of the other coaches as well as the other players.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. This one seems to be very well received in Notre Dame land. Seems like if you're going to replace Thielen, seems like the best option or one of the best options. I think they did a good job on that. Moving to the GM thing, do you agree with me? It's just kind of awkward because unlike with coaches or like transfer players where there's history and there's names and you have a perception of who's good or bad at what, I'm not quite sure anybody knows how to target a GM or what other names should be bandied about. Like, I just don't think anybody knows exactly. And you're just kind of waiting for news. It's just kind of an awkward position search in the modern age of college football. I don't know. I don't even know the pool they're contacting through. Who knows?
And that's because it's so new, right? This is so new to us because of, and also the level of importance for this position because of the NIL money, because of the recruiting and all that kind of publicity that's going into it. You have to have somebody in this position that can dial it in. And now it's becoming much more of a prominent position within college sports or within college football, especially. So that's why it feels so like, wait, who are these people? I've never heard of Blanchard before.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I heard of him was when we popped his name up. And to be honest with you, I only heard about good old Chad like a couple of times because I was like, oh yeah, we have a GM. Like that's such a weird thing, like in college sports, like a general manager, I don't know. For me, it felt more NFL-ish, right? So it shouldn't shock us that we don't know, like, oh, well, who should we go? Who's out there? Would Kirby Smart come over this way or would so-and-so come? It's like, we don't know those names. So whoever they say, we are just kind of going off of like, well, what's this person's reputation? What have they done? And now you got to do the research. Now you got to get into the library, or so to speak, and go and read about this person and try to find out, what it is that they brought to the table in the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And then see if that's going to be a good fit for us here,
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a big job. This GM guy has to be very, very well-rounded. That's the one thing I'm learning. The more I learn about this job and this role, you have to be very well-rounded, like to set up an infrastructure, be able to manage the recruiting, manage the relationships with NIL and the portal stuff and keeping money coming in from donors. Like there is a lot that this GM has on their plate that they have to be very well-rounded of a skill set to be good at, and you got to get it right. So now Notre Dame's in a little bit of a time crunch. You want to be able to wrap this up and get whatever comes next going. We're just going to have to wait and see what names come up and then dig on the history. I don't know any other way to do it, man.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I'll say this, to wrap that up, it really comes down to this. Just trust Marcus Freeman. Trust this team and the institution and what they're doing right now. They are putting together an entire program, and they have to find all these different pieces while some of the pieces that you thought were in play are moving on just because, hey, they're good and other teams are going to want them. So it's just one of those ones where we just need to trust what he's doing. He's knocking it out of the park. He really is. He's out there. He's grinding. He's getting it done. And I'm telling you, like, he is the best hire that we've had since I don't know when. I mean, definitely in my lifetime, so it's just, other than Lou Holtz, who brought us a championship, but it's just one of those ones that's like, okay, like, let's go. We're all in. We're all in, Marcus. Like, let's do this, and I just feel like we all just need to trust him, trust the institution to bring us home for it,
Yeah.
One other thing I had for you.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that, boss. One other thing I had for you was, Goolsby was saying during the playoff run, he said, he touched on it. He said he had to remind himself to appreciate this moment, to appreciate this time in Notre Dame history, because it's one of those ones where when you're in it and you're wrapped into it, you're just like, oh my God, like, what is going on? This is incredible. Okay, now we're going to go play Georgia. We beat them. Now we're going to go play Penn State. Beat them. Now we're going to the national title. And it's like, remind yourself how good this is, how amazing this is. Remember those dog days of, of years in the past where we just were not as relevant, or we were dealing with Brian Kelly's, shenanigans or whatever it was. And I just feel like right now, like we are in such a good place. I know we're in the off season and everything, but just remind yourselves, like we are doing an amazing thing right now. This is something, when you look at all the different pieces and components that we're putting together, they are going to fit together well enough to bring home that natty title. I know it.
Oh man,
I
hope so.
Just enjoy it.
I hope so. Yeah, this needs to be a part of the growth process, not like the final result. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see if Freeman and Notre Dame can maintain this momentum. Hey, man, I really appreciate you jumping in, starting us on a Monday. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good one, man.
Boy.
We'll talk to you. Oh, man, that guy's a regular now. Crystal clear phone lines. Appreciate it. A few people are putting this in the chat. SZA, what is that? The girl? I asked who the girl was that I didn't. SZA? I have no, what does that mean? SZA. SZA? And if I got to ask, how about this? If I got to ask, then you're not big enough to be at the Super Bowl. How about that? How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? If I got to ask who you are singing at the Super Bowl, you ain't big enough to be in the Super Bowl. What is a SZA? I have no idea. What is a SZA? I don't get it. But I got to blow my nose. You guys heard me clearing my throat on the phone lines before I even started. I'm having trouble. I got Eric coming up, Rodney coming up. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Johnny is not out of touch. I am not out of touch. If you were that popular, I would know who you are. Then I'm going to know who a scissor is. Kidding me? Okay, Boomer. You guys, or you just don't listen to that music. I would like the day that I'm like, what am I going to listen for music? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to SZA is the day that I'm done. What am I going to listen to a SZA talk about? Yeah, and then we're going to have, what are you going to have, Lizzo up there next year? Unbelievable. Give me a break. Give me a break, Eric. What's going on? I got Rodney. I got 574. I got 402. You're all coming up. What's up?
What up? What's up, Big Johnny?
I don't know, man. I'm in this weird Notre Dame place where we're in between a lot of things, and you're coming off a good season, but a frustrating end, and you're not to spring ball, and you got people coming and going, and I'm just trying to figure out, who we're going to war with. I don't know.
Well, this is the first time I tell you, I won't tell you to relax. But let me start with the Super Bowl before I get to Notre Dame.
Okay.
Super Bowl trash. I mean, just throw it in the dumpster. Like Kendrick Lamar's performance was better than the damn game. It was just all horrible across the board last night. And yes,
did you have a dog in a fight? Did you have a dog in the fight, one way or the other? Like I had no positive or negative feelings towards either side. Like I literally didn't care at all.
No, because I'm a 49er fan, and I'm just like, I was happy. Like 49ers tanked this season. They look like crap. I mean, I'm tired of the 49ers. I'm like, quit going to the Super Bowl if you're going to keep getting your ass kicked. Like, just quit going. I don't want to talk about referees no more. Even though these referees, they do run the game and they get on my damn nerves. But I thought it was going to happen last night with the first offensive pass interference, but they smoothed it out after that.
Yeah.
So I could watch the game and just enjoy it and just without the referees intervening every damn play. So, but yeah, Super Bowl was trash. Halftime show was okay, but I want to talk to Notre Dame, man. Talk to me, John.
Hey, listen. Here's the challenge. Here's where I'm at, man. How do you thread the needle if you're Marcus Freeman of maintaining the energy and the vibe that got you where you did last year, and now you're losing and replacing a bunch of pieces with new personality, new ego, some new coaches, and all that? How do you thread the needle if you're Freeman to maintain some of that vibe and edge and blend in the new ego and the new group and whatever's going to be new without falling back or whatever? It's just a very unique needle to thread entering your fourth year when you had a lot of success in year three, but not ultimate success. You're in a little bit of a weird spot. How do you see it?
I just think we got the man for the job, so I'm not really tripping on anything. If I felt like we had a butthole coach like Brian Kelly, then yeah, we'd be in a world of trouble. But I think we just got the man for the job, man. So I think he's gonna make the best hire. He's gonna take his time. And one thing I like about Marcus Freeman right now is that he's been on the job a while now, so he doesn't really hit the panic button. I don't see it in him anymore. Like his first year, I feel like he really didn't have any control, but he's taking control of his program. So I feel like he doesn't even hit the panic button anymore because, I mean, Notre Dame is a coveted job. Like, regardless of what anybody says, we're still one of the blue bloods, and we have all the resources, and we're gaining more resources. So I'm comfortable, man. We reached the national championship ahead of schedule, and we lost to a team that's one of the all-time greatest teams. Like, they were the best team in college football. So I don't even feel bad about losing to them because if we would have played Texas, we'd have beat the shit out of Texas. And so it's just like we're right there. We're there. Like, we're right there chipping at the heel. So I'm happy with where Notre Dame is right now. We're strong right now, bro. So, but
okay, now wait. You don't have any fear in you about like, maybe this was just like a good blend of talent and coaches, and then you hit a good run in the playoff with some favorable matchups or whatever. And like, you don't have any fear of like, what if you plateau and like, are you not going to get back? Like, you don't have any of that in you at all?
No, I don't. I mean, look at the teams out there. They suck.
Yeah.
We're in the top 6 now, like bona fide.
Yeah.
So anybody, who's number one? Like Ohio State paid all that money to retain players and gain players, and all of them going to the NFL. So who am I worried about? I'm not worried about the damn team out there.
Yeah.
I just know we're in the mix, and forget all the ESPN headlines and all the media headlines. We're one of the best teams now, and we gotta be happy about that and be proud about that. Like, yeah, they pumped the national championship game up just because we're in it, and they didn't believe in us. But shit, we played Ohio State. Look at this team.
Yeah, it's
so.
Man,
I mean,
dude,
at least they fought. At least they fought.
You're
at
right.
Least we fought,
dude. Since that game has ended, and my emotions have calmed down, and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, a part of me feels like we're closer than ever in the modern era. Like we're so close, but also kind of far away at the same time. And I don't know if that's fair of me to think. It feels like we're so close, but kind of far away at the same time. You made it all the way to the final 2. And then there were parts of that game where you looked like you belonged. And then parts of that game that looked like old Notre Dame in big games where you couldn't get a stop and didn't come close to getting a stop for a big portion of the game. Like, so I'm in this weird spot where I literally feel like we feel so close, but so far away at the same time. It's just weird, man. And now we got all this offseason to think about it. And then you go to Miami. So it's like, it's all life's coming at you quick.
We'll be all right, man. We'll be all right. I just hope that they make the right decision at the quarterback spot. I just want to end it with that. I really want Carr. I really want Carr Minchie. I love Steve Angeli. I love everything he's done for university.
Yeah.
But I just need you guys to throw a young gun out there, and our line is going to be elite. Our offensive line is going to be way better than what it was this year. So just go with the young guy and just go with it. Jesus, like, just go. Jeez.
Yeah, it's going to be a different year with that Notre Dame with the Notre Dame quarterback thing. And it's the number one question of how Freeman's going to set up spring ball. Are you going to go out there the first day when he does that introductory press conference and say, oh, Steve Angeli's going to start with the ones, blah, blah, blah. Or does he say, we're staying in-house this year and we're having an open competition and may the best man win, and we're going to put them all in a position to be able to prove that they can win the job. So I don't know what to think. What do you think Freeman's going to do?
I think Freeman's full of shit, and he knows who he needs to put in the game. So I'm not about to play the politics that Freeman's playing now.
But don't you think you gotta, for competition's sake, even if you think you know who you want it to be, for competition's sake, you have an obligation to kind of set that up in a year where you're not paying a big time transfer to come in and take the starting role. You at least gotta do that, don't you?
Hell yeah. You better have an in-house competition, because this is your last chance. Like, these recruits will not keep coming. These quarterback recruits, at least, they will not keep coming. If you keep on this road of bullshit, portal quarterback, stop it. You have an in-house. Just take a chance. It'll work better for us down the road. Who knows? It might work for us in year one. I mean, we're going to be better talent-wise this year, offensively and defensively. So just roll the dice and just go with it, man. These other programs ain't shit. It's only a couple of them.
Yeah.
We right there with them.
Man, that's a good way to look at it. That is a good way to look at it. And any thoughts about the GM thing? I'm not even sure we all know exactly what and who we're looking for. So I don't know what to think. I wanted the cutoff, man. I wanted the cutoff.
Yeah, he was a swole guy, man. That boy looked like Booker T from WWF, WCW. I said, shit. But, hey, he wanted to stay close to home. He got 5 kids. I feel him. Hey, man. If it ain't meant, it ain't meant. But, hey, if we can get somebody that's tied to Notre Dame and got love for Notre Dame, I'd rather go that way. Yeah. They're gonna bust their ass to make the program better. So I would really like to see people that are tied to Notre Dame and really love the program and know what the program is about and align with Marcus Freeman's thoughts and the way he is. So the culture. So that's what I want. I really could care less. But we're going to keep kicking ass on recruiting trail. It might not be the best recruiting. You know, people are still going to complain, regardless of what number we come out at, not top 10, whatever. But we plug and play at this point. And we should be thankful for that. We're not one player going down from just getting our ass kicked in every game.
Yeah, you're right, man.
People need to take a history course. Like, we lose one player, we just start getting our ass whooped all of a sudden. It's over with. Yeah,
it's man, you do present some good arguments on the plus side too, and having a little belief. But I think the country's going to hold Freeman to a pretty tough standard now, man. Making it to that final game has changed the bar of expectations, and I just think it's going to be hard to get up to that level again, and people are going to wait for Notre Dame to fall back, and you got to make this playoff again and show some staying power. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for calling on a Monday.
I just want to say I'll see you at the tailgate. I'm going to come, trying to get my rental together, but I'll be there because I missed you last year because I got there late because of my goddamn girlfriend.
I remember
I'll
that.
I'll be there this year.
We'll fly the flag, man. You'll see me. Look in the main lot. I'll have the flag up early in the morning. Come holler at your boy.
That's cool, man. Hey, main media, get off Notre Dame nuts because we're back. And I'll see you at the tailgate, Johnny, and go Irish.
There we
Everybody
go.
Have a good Monday.
You too. Thank you. What a nice guy. Good call. Rodney, you're coming up. Couple chats. And then Rodney, if you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Ian Book got a ring last night. Well, there you go, man. Lodging suggestions for spring game. I don't know. Any hotel in the area you could get that didn't jack the rates to be $900 because there's a dumb practice game going on. That'd be my guess. Rodney, really curious where the GM search goes now. Yeah, so am I, especially because I have no idea what the candidate pool is, who we're looking for, and what the top priority is. Walter, $2 hour. I had a tweet war I had with LSU fan on my Twitter. Yeah, what's new? What's new, man? Down pat. I watched the final Here Come the Irish episode of Heartbreaking. I'm not there yet. Not doing it. I don't need to. What do I need to bring up and be all upset for again when I'm starting to heal? What do I need to be all brought down again for? Ken, John wanted to see Gwen Stefani and Kid Rock. My name is Kid. John wanted to see Avril Lavigne. I don't even remember any of her songs. Wasn't she like a skater chick in like 1999 or something? Drunk Vigo. Garth Brooks. I'm not a big country guy, man. And I don't know a lot of that. In college, I had a couple roommates that were literally from the middle of the country. Like, they didn't do like pop country. It was like Waylon Jennings and old Willie Nelson and like old Johnny Cash. Like, it was real country, not this poppy stuff they have now, but it was like outlaw Waylon Jennings country. I don't know. John could understand Hootie in the I only want to be with you is what Chad told USC, apparently. John really was waiting for Elton John to make a guest appearance. Man, he could put on a show at least, man. You could have a rotating piano. He could be all colorful and do whatever you're going to do. Neil Diamond. Not Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond. One of the worst voices I've ever heard be this famous. It's unbelievable how out of key this guy's voice is, and he's that famous. Unbelievable. And his most popular hit with the people is the number one song I hate more than anything else. And I actually leave weddings. I leave the facility. When Sweet Caroline comes on, I leave the building. Doesn't matter where it is. A sports game, I go take a leak. If I'm at a bar, I go outside. A wedding, I go out in the lobby. I can't handle that song. And large groups of drunk people yelling it. I can't handle it. I hate it. It's horrible. I hate it. It's bad when just he sings it. It's double bad when a bunch of drunk white people in the room start yelling it. I hate it. Trex. I'm concerned about the recruiting class. Top 5 classes all have multiple 5 stars. Lack of top-end talent was a gap between ND and Ohio State. That is fair. That is fair. I have no pushback, Trex. Totally fair. One of the biggest jobs of this new GM, whoever it's going to be, you got to get that recruiting at least in the top 10. You're not doing that right now. I need you to get in the top 10 on signing day when it's all over, well in the top 10. So it's totally right. You're totally right. John, what do you think about it taking an Ohio State alum to help the Irish get back on their feet on the national stage? I've never really looked at it that way. Like where Notre Dame was coming from when Freeman took the job 30 years without winning a major bowl game. I don't feel like I was in the position to be picky and be like, I only want a guy who has Notre Dame ties to get this turned around. Like, no, you're not in the position to be that picky. Like, I didn't feel like I was in the position to be that picky. So if he wants to be our guy, let's go win. Weezer. And a bunch of other words and tricks are for kids. John, did you see Steve Angeli escorting that beautiful lady at the women's game? No, I did not. Not a big basketball guy. I'm not going to act like I watch a lot of basketball. If either Notre Dame team's in the tournament, I'll watch it. That's about it. I just don't get, since the Bulls run ended in the 90s, like I'm done with basketball. I don't care. They will play all 3 guys with the ones during game camp cop. One QB will separate and it'll be obvious to the coaches. Yeah. I think that's what you hope for, right? Isn't that what you hope for? Is that you do some sort of open competition and then someone jumps out and it's clear that they become the leader, and it's not only their performance out there, but also the team gravitate towards them, and then it just becomes apparent who the number one guy is, right? Like that would be ideal, right? Rodney, what's going on? Welcome to the show. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. What's up, Rodney?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm okay, man. Just, I don't know, weird time in Notre Dame land. You're right in between.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a weird time, man. I'm not, there's nothing really to be upset about per se. I mean, I love the Penn State get, especially a lateral move like that. That was a good one. So that's at least some good momentum. And it's generally is what happens. I mean, if you notice in the off season, it seems like, and I guess it's really for most teams, because people have to exit before you can bring other people in. So just by the nature of that, you're going to have, unless someone gets fired, or something, but just by the nature of that, obviously you have to have a position open to then have to go after something, right? So of course the news is going to be bad first. It was disappointing about the Blanchard stuff, man, but I saw, I mean, not at first, but after a few, week or two went by, I mean, I saw that coming a mile away, especially when I was hearing things about him having 5 kids and then all live there. And he's a Texas guy. And I'm like, he's getting cold feet. He's not coming. He wants to stay home.
Yeah. I don't know where you turn, Rodney. Where do you turn next? No one knows. This is a new job. And it's not like assistant and head coaches where a lot of the top names and you have opinions and it's easy to look up their history and have a kind of a fan-coach relationship with them. I don't think anybody's quite sure exactly how to define this role and what the talent pool is. And I'm sure Freeman, there are people telling Freeman, talk to this guy, I just don't know where you go from here. But I know this is a really important role that you can't mess up.
And as far as the Brady Quinn stuff goes, I know that's like what every stock answer of a lot of Notre Dame fans want or whatever. But on a serious note, I mean, remember we talked about maybe they're grooming him for the athletic director, and I'm thinking to myself, this particular position makes much more sense for him at this point if that is something that he's looking to do, because it's all about football. And I personally can't think of someone who would be a better representative of that than Brady Quinn. My question to you, John, with your sources out there, is that even something that they're pursuing? Is there even any interest?
Where did you go? Where did he go?
Sorry.
There you go. Got you.
John.
Okay, I got you. Ask that.
Sorry.
That's okay. You dropped out.
Sorry.
Ask me that again, whatever that was.
Yeah. I was going to say, John, about the Brady Quinn stuff. Like, is there, obviously he's a lot of our maybe dream pick for that position or whatever, outside of someone who's just a can't miss, right? My question is, with the money he's making right now with broadcasting deals and some of the inside stuff he's doing with, I don't exactly know what his position is with Notre Dame in terms of the recruiting aspect, but he's somewhat involved with the NIL stuff, right? But it just seems to me that he would be, we talked about the athletic director position of him being groomed for. Wouldn't this make a lot more sense just because of it's about football? And I'm just saying, if that was a name they were throwing out there for athletic director as a possibility in the future, this one seems like a no-brainer. And so my question simply is he even interested? Is Notre Dame even interested in him? Is that even a thing? Is there sources out there that through Goolsby or whoever, all your other, Shipkowski and all them guys, is that even on the radar?
I think it's not outrageous to suggest, because Brady's already involved with all that NIL stuff, right? Like he is, like, he's already involved in that part of it. However, why would you want to do this? Like, there's no way you're going to make as much money in this role as you would make working for Fox. Like, and it's low stress work.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to ask yourself, Why would you go from wearing a suit, being on TV every Saturday, flying to the biggest games of the year, making all this money, and having a national voice to give all that up, to lock yourself in a room and do the and manage the portal and all this stuff? Like, I don't know why you would do it other than I really love Notre Dame and I feel like this is my way to give back. And he's a name that gets people to answer the phone and whatever. And you could, like, I just feel like it would have to be a calling, because he would be giving up a really, really lucrative, good low stress deal to do it. And I don't know if that's realistic or not.
That's exactly my concern too. I don't know I don't exactly know what that position pays, but it would seem with all the things he's got his hands in right now, that he probably is making more money cumulatively with all that. My question would be, and I assume there would be a conflict of interest there too, like he couldn't do both, right? Or like could he do a few things that he's still doing, and with broadcasting, but not the full? I don't know what the answer is to that. Probably not, because I don't know. So I was just wondering if that was even on the radar at all.
Yeah, I think people do talk about it, and he's already involved with the NIL part. So, I mean, he's already involved in those negotiations. So it's not a big stretch. It's just that somebody put that's a grinder position. It really is. Like, you got to do a lot of dirty work behind the scenes to be good at that job. And it almost just seems like Brady Quinn's profile is too big to be locked in a room doing that. And so I don't know, though. I don't know. Maybe he'll feel a calling to do it because it makes sense. But outside of that, I don't know what names pop up. I have no idea.
Yeah, it also makes me wonder, outside the college game, if they can't get somebody of the Blanchard level, is there someone in the pro game that has dealt with college, that been a recruiting coordinator in college, that would be interested in a position like that? So I don't know. I don't know. Again, I haven't heard any new names pop up. I don't know if you've heard any, but
nope.
I don't know. It's it was a disappointment, man, when I heard he decided not to come, but I kind of saw it coming. I was like, nah, I almost wish he wouldn't. It's one of those things, don't tease us with something that is probably not going to come true, kind of thing. Yeah, you got to go after the guy. I get that. But I don't know, it was just disappointing. As far as the game goes last night, man, yeah, I'm glad I wasn't really, like you were saying, man, what do I hate more? That Kansas City keeps winning all these Super Bowls and all their faces are on TV all the time, or the Philadelphia fans that can be probably the worst fan group. I don't know. I used to hear a lot about the Raiders back in the day, but I don't know. The Eagle fan group, while passionate, and probably for the most part, they're good. They're good, right? But it's that few. There's the few that spoil it for a bunch. So it's kind of hard to root for them too, man. So and it was, but watching the games, John, this did cross my mind. That's how I'm going to tie it into Notre Dame. It's like, why couldn't we have gotten that out of Ohio State? It's obvious it wasn't that Kansas City just didn't come to play, man. And Philadelphia absolutely did. Like,
but you could
just tell it was one of those things. I think.
But you are right, Rodney.
I just think that they were so, just hyped up throughout this whole process. It's like you could just tell that they didn't have the same edge. But God forbid that ever happens to a Notre Dame opponent in the national title game. It just doesn't happen.
We seem to get anybody. We get everybody's best. Everybody we played in these playoffs.
Ohio State puts more into. I'm telling you right now, man. Ohio State cares more about Notre Dame than they do Michigan. Let's just call a spade a spade. They care more about that game than they do the Michigan game. It's true. Every time we play them, we get their best shot. Every time they play like a well-oiled machine. Every time we play that team. Yeah. So anyway, that's my thoughts, man.
Yeah.
I unfortunately can't go to the blue and gold game, man.
What?
It's gonna suck. If it was the 19th or the 26th, dude, which is the one I was planning on, I could go. I can't go on the 12th. I got my show opens. That was closing weekend of my show, so I can't do it. That totally pissed me off. I'm like,
yeah, it's early.
What about those hotel prices? What happened with all that? I bet the hotel prices were all in the.
I know. There must
I was so mad when I saw that.
Yeah, and then you got Easter the next weekend, so they didn't want to do that. So then you're kind of blocked in to go really late or early. So we'll miss you, but I appreciate you letting me know. Otherwise, we'll be looking where's Rodney, man? It ain't the same without you. Thanks for letting me know.
I know, man. I saw that date. I'm like, no, it's one but that one, but whatever. Obviously, I'll be seeing you guys for the first. What home game are you looking at, John?
I don't know. I still got to figure out with Pat, and some of his schedule's messed up, and then I'm still working that out. We got a little time.
Right on. All right, buddy. Look, man, have a good day. Obviously, Notre Dame will get this thing figured out, and we're everything's headed in the right direction. We got the right guy for the job. We all know that. So, look, Ryan Day just lost 2 coordinators. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. But have a good one, Rodney. Thanks a lot. He did lose 2 coordinators, but he also has a championship. The issue was ND's defense couldn't stop Ohio State's offense, and ND had a top 5 defense. Are we saying they needed the number 1 defense to win the championship? Well, number 1 is Notre Dame just played bad in that game. Number 2 is you do have a bunch of injuries. That is not an excuse, but it is just a fact that the defense had a bunch of injuries. You were working through that. Didn't help. But yeah, they just didn't play that good. They didn't play nearly as sharp as they usually do. And it just, you couldn't get much done. But also, you don't need to be perfect on defense if you have an offense that's operating on the higher end. That's the other thing. Like, it's not all on the defense, stop the offense. If you could get Notre Dame's offense to score with Ohio State, you could do that. GM is a 24/7 job. Dude, I just do not think. Why would Brady Quinn want to do this job that is so much grind work behind the scenes in a little office that nobody sees? Why would a guy with Brady Quinn's profile want to do that for less money unless he's just like, this is my mission in life to give back to Notre Dame, and it doesn't matter about anything. I did see my Wi-Fi just flash. So if you saw me pop out for a second, that's it. I don't know what's going on. I have not had Wi-Fi issues for months. All during this season, I did not have Wi-Fi issues. It was right before this season when I did. I don't know why I'm having them now. 574, what's going on?
Hey, John.
What's up, buddy?
Been forever.
Yeah, what's going on?
Not much. Super Bowl sucked. The commercials, meh. Halftime show, blah.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry I haven't gotten to you through the playoffs and during the rest of the college football season. It's just been hard to get on because your lines were long. But
yeah, we were popping, man. So what do you make of it all? Notre Dame's playoff run, the frustrating end with Ohio State. What do you make of it?
I firmly believe Pittman will eventually get Notre Dame a title. And I find it interesting because, like, you know, I was actually at that home playoff game. And I actually had a sign that was actually directed to Xavier Watts, and the cool thing is Xavier Watts saw it and put it on his Instagram. That was really cool. And also winning in also a major bowl in almost 30 years, first time in 30 years, and followed by winning in one of the all-time classics, and for once being on the winning side of those things the next week. That was awesome. I was disappointed in the Natty, but what can I say? Ohio State was better.
Yeah, it's. Do you have any thoughts on the GM role or what Notre Dame might do there?
You know, when that happened, I did not know we had general managers in college now. I had no idea until now.
Yeah, it's a newer role, and not every team has this, but more of them are going to it. There's just a lot to navigate, man, with NIL and recruiting and all these deals and the portal and all of this. It's just a lot to navigate.
It is. It is a tough job and it's business, but one thing I gotta say, those LSU clowns on YouTube and on Twitter. Yes, I'm calling them clowns because I'm sorry, but you're trying to tell us that we're not doing any better with Freeman. Name one major bowl Kelly has won in his entire career.
Yeah,
name one.
It's a rough argument when they're like, Notre Dame still hasn't accomplished anything. Kelly couldn't do. You won 3 more major postseason games in 1 year than you won in 30 years combined, including Kelly's dozen-year tenure. I get it. They want to protect their guy. They want to protect their guy. Push it all down on Notre Dame. Like, you know what they're doing.
Yeah, one of them on your Twitter told me he wishes that they could play Notre Dame in the playoffs. Yeah, come here, 15-degree weather, and oh yeah, you haven't played defense since Kelly's been there. Jeremiah Love, when healthy, lethal with the hurdles. Yeah, you can forget about that.
Yeah, well, the funny part
forget
is
about winning South Bend.
I mean, you just need to, if they made it to the playoff, then maybe they can match up with us in the playoff, but they were in the Texas Bowl. So maybe Kelly could quit arguing with cancer families and get back to making the playoff. Maybe we can see what's happening.
Yeah, until Kelly improves his F- work ethic in major bowls. I don't want to hear a word from LSU fans about how they're going to do this and that with Kelly. You're averaging 3 or 4 losses a year with him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. They think they're in for a better year this year. It's interesting. Yeah. I believe they start out against Clemson, so that'll be a really interesting opener. And we'll see. We'll see if Kelly loses 4 opening games in a row because he's 0 for 3 so far. It'll be the 4th one. It is hard to lose 4 opening games in a row. We'll see if Dabo can deliver it. So I don't know, man. And then any thoughts on the running back hire?
To be honest, it don't matter what running back coach we have because you know why? We have Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
And that dude is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna jump over people. Are you gonna skateboard over to the blue and gold game and find me or what?
Well, I'm gonna say this. If you want me to skateboard at your tailgate, you may have to do it somewhere that's kind of like somewhat off campus because let's say a friend of mine got banned from campus while he was skateboarding on campus, and he's actually a big Notre Dame fan. He was banned from campus for a while. I'm pretty sure he's no longer banned now, but you know how it is, police and skateboarders.
Yeah.
They don't mix.
Yeah, it's but I mean you don't have to bring the skateboard, but I think you should come out, man, have a drink.
Oh, you'll see me. Don't you worry about that. And I couldn't do it the last time because I had to get my brakes done.
Yeah, you got to have brakes, man. That's a problem if you don't have no brakes. Yeah, I agree. You got to get the brakes done. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for touching base on a Monday.
Yeah, a couple things. You should take a gander look at that tweet war and just, you'll probably be laughing your ass off that I had with those LSU fans. And also, I'm going to miss Xavier Watts because there's one thing on the defense. I think the defense will be fine without him, but still, that dude was a ball hawk and then some. So Schuler is not too bad either.
Yeah, it's that is going to hurt. Hell of a player, and fortunately, we're doing pretty good in the secondary. So hopefully, you can can replace.
Don't let the Jets pick him up or the Browns because I'll vomit if they do.
Yeah, there you go, man. Hey, thanks for giving me a call on the Monday. I do appreciate it. I'm just picturing like my tailgate there for blue and gold. This guy's got a half pipe. He's got ramp set up. He's swinging through. He's doing the whole Rob and Big thing, and he's skating through, and I throw him a beer, and he catches it in the midair. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have no idea. 402, what's going on?
Hey, John. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, my friend. What's going on after the big game?
Well, I got a lot to say, like always, so like you were talking about in the beginning of the show, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, they both been having a beef with each other. And it's all about who was the more pure rapper. And as far as the halftime show goes, I was asking myself some similar questions because Kendrick Lamar has this whole ethos of that his expression is a form of a message. And I looked on social media, and it's mainly from what I was seeing from people who said they saw it, it was mainly a political and a cultural protest in a way, in the form of his music and the show. I'm not going to go into any details because it's a sports channel, not a political cultural channel. I'm not doing it. You guys got to go look it up. I mean, I'm just saying the channel, but I just want to give you a very general, generic answer, to give you an idea what was that all about.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Going on to Notre Dame, I want to say something about Brian Kelly. I never liked the guy. I never respected the guy. The guy's trash. I don't think he may be a okay coach, but he's not. I don't see him as a great person. The reason why 2009 he was a coach at Cincinnati. You had a quarterback by the name of Tony Pike. They had the best season they had in history at that point in time, and they were being a contender for national, during the BCS era. So they were being a contender for a national championship. So Charles Weiss gets fired at Notre Dame, and then he takes the job offer at Cincinnati before Cincinnati's bowl game. And that year they played, it was a Sugar Bowl against the Florida Gators, and they get demolished because Florida Gators still had Tim Tebow then. But I never liked Brian Kelly for that very reason. And I knew when Notre Dame hired him, he was going to do the same thing to Notre Dame as what he did at Cincinnati by the way he left to go to LSU. I mean, that guy, I don't like him. I never will. I'll never respect him. I think that he's bad news, and he's just I think that at this point, seeing how his character is, of how he was corresponding with Notre Dame fan base about this is the best you're going to get, take it or leave it. He had that attitude. I really do think that he's a downward trend at this point. Any team that picks him up are just pretty desperate. Like LSU, they got rid of Ed Orgeron, national championship winner, had a quarterback, Joe Burrow, that won the Heisman. I think they're just desperate to cave into the pressure because the LSU fans are not used to seeing them lose all the time, like Nebraska fans.
Yeah, it's what's interesting is for a while I thought, Notre Dame's a target. Everybody hates Notre Dame if you're not a Notre Dame person. And I thought maybe Kelly got a hard time because everybody's against Notre Dame. But he went to LSU and he's even more unlikable there. It really does seem to follow him around rather than it being the programs. It really does kind of seem like it's just wherever he's going now.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as the GM, it's very important. I'm really jumping everywhere because I'm trying to hit all the critical points. And also, the last time I called in, I'll tell you what my future looks like for Notre Dame in terms of how you guys may get swept in the playoffs. GM is actually important. Athletic director, head coach, one or the other, or both hires it. So knowing Marcus Freeman, he's going to be very strategical, finding someone who's going to fit his program because Marcus Freeman and the athletic director work. I don't know your guys' athletic director's name, but both of them work together to create this foundation. You guys got a foundation, and you guys are, as long as you keep this pace up and showing up to the playoffs and beating conference championships in the postseason, you're definitely going to trend upward to be more of a powerhouse, like more of a stable, stronger powerhouse. And I think that long as Marcus Freeman is at Notre Dame and he gets the resources, because now I think in my opinion, knowing that Marcus has the capability of getting more with less in terms of the talent, Ohio State has 15 stars and whatever, not 15, but 14 5-star talent. I think that, like I said from before, I think that kind of opens up a blank check to him to where he's going to have more access to the resources he's going to need to take Notre Dame to the final stretch of bringing home a championship. And that's exactly why he's taking his time to find a GM who's going to amplify those odds for you guys to go win one.
Yeah, it's man, it's really going to be interesting to see what direction they go. What do you think about the running back thing? Getting the guy from Penn State seems like a good move.
Well, definitely, because you had 2,000-yard rushers of K. Charnell and Nick Singleton, and there's only one other college out there that did the same thing that they did, was Ohio State. They had 2,000-yard rushers, Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. And, I mean, you can never go wrong poaching another coach from a team that actually wins football games, and you guys met at the same level. There's nothing, I mean, you got to respect it.
Yeah, it's, man, it's interesting. Anything else on your mind, my friend? Thanks for the call on a Monday.
I'll try to be quick on this, but this is something that's been brewing on my mind. I do want to get this out there because I think this should be a topic within in the future. Like, this is something very important for Notre Dame fans. Quick history lesson. 1908, Notre Dame played Michigan. Notre Dame was a small school in the Midwest. Then nobody knew who they were. They were trying to get themselves in the map, get some exposure. They played Michigan. Michigan lost to Notre Dame. A nobody. Fielding Yost, number one, didn't like Notre Dame for that too. He had angst against Catholicism. He was anti-Catholic, right? That was his sentiment. So you guys got blackballed for so many years until Army gave you guys a chance in 1913. Okay, the point, blackball. I think that's what's going to be happening to Notre Dame here in the future. As long as you guys are trending upward, going to postseason, winning playoff games, being conference championships, and sneaking your way into the playoff game, I think that's going to force the conference commissioners are going to try and start forcing Notre Dame, and that, hey, you don't play in the conference, you guys are going to be out of the playoffs entirely, because it's going to evolve, and I don't know what dynamics is going to be in place, but that's something I see can happening, that if you guys embarrass the college football world by keep winning football games, beating powerhouses, and you guys are becoming this powerhouse, so everybody has to think that you're not being in the conference, I think that they're going to be more, like, if you guys lose 2 games, you guys are probably going to be out of the playoffs. So that, for example, this year you guys got really fortunate with what your team is this year. But I do see people down the stretch from conferences are going to say that a 3-loss Ohio State team is better than a 2-loss Notre Dame team. Same thing what you saw with Florida State last playoff cycle, where they lost their quarterback and they beat 2 SEC teams, Florida and LSU, on away games, and they still got snubbed out of the playoffs because their quarterback got injured. And I guess they forget about history when Ohio State won a national championship and a third-string quarterback, a legitimate third-string quarterback, people, But I think that May's going to push you guys to a conference if that scenario does happen, and I do see that there's a chance that you guys get blackballed because you're just embarrassing everybody.
And that's interesting.
Because Notre Dame has proven the doubters wrong. Like, you guys convinced me as a lone Buckeye fan that, hey, these guys are legit, and I've seen that for many years in the making. And I'm telling you guys are on pace. John, relax a little bit. You guys have a foundation. You guys are having elite talent coming in. You guys are and Marcus Freeman is an elite developer. You guys are going to be elite. You guys are going to be fine. Once you guys go into the playoffs, it's a successful season. Don't lose more than 2 games to keep yourself guaranteed locked into the playoffs. And those first 4 weeks in your season, it's going to definitely forge your football team for the future. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. Thanks a lot, man. The beginning part of that schedule is going to be really interesting. 559 up on the line. What's going on, baby?
What's up, John? How's it going, man? I'm actually about to go to sleep after that. Look, I think it's just a waste of breath even talking about that guy. I'm not even mad at that guy, man. How can you be mad at him after what he gave us? Sometimes, just got to appreciate the fact that he moved on. He gave us a blessing, We got Marcus Freeman. We got Denbrock. There's nothing to be sorry for. It sounds like we're like, when you end a bad relationship and you can't get over that girl that left you, that's how some of us sound by now. It's like, it just gets old. It just frustrates the hell out of me when I keep hearing his name over and over, like, oh, he left the middle. Nah, thank you, goodbye. Pack yourself, move on, man. Shoot. Look at what we got. And what I tell you, John? What I tell you about our coach, man? Look at what he brought in. And you know what? This GM position, I ain't even tripping, John. I'm actually at peace. I'm calm. I'm excited. Like, you know what? This guy gets it, man. Marcus Freeman really, really gets it, guys. We don't downgrade. We upgrade.
Yeah, he's got some important decisions to make, man. That GM thing's a big deal. I'm reading in the chat that Texas is after Mickens. That could be a problem. Texas has a lot of money to throw around, and I'm going to feel a lot less secure with the Ash hire if I don't have that guy standing right by him. That's a big thing to monitor. I don't like it.
Man, look, I honestly think Mickens is upcoming defensive coordinator. I mean, there's going to be a day he will move on. I wish he don't. I'm not saying that I wish he don't. I wish he sticks around Notre Dame. But I think this agreement that he made on why to bring someone else, it's not like he was blindsided. It's not like he wasn't talked about it. I don't feel like at no moment he didn't have an input or a say-so on what he thought was best for the school and the team. You know what I mean? I think he's a good team camaraderie coach, and he has a great relationship with Marcus. But I trust in Marcus, guys. At the end of the day, we got to believe in our coach, on our head coach that's running this program. He's going to make the right hires. Right now, there's no reason for us to be in panic mode at all. That's just the way I feel, to be honest with you, John. I'm actually kind of bummed out, John, because I got notified last week that I won't be able to go to the Blue and Gold game. I'm going to have to stay back and take care of my responsibilities at work.
That's okay, man. That's okay. Hey, at least I got to see you for the Indiana game, and then maybe you can make it for whatever game we pick in the regular season. But I'm glad at least we got to meet this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just, I'm sorry, I'm not, like I said, guys, I'm at work. I'm around my crew right now. I can't be the way I want to be, but to be honest with you, we are Notre Dame. We ask, we choose who we want part of this program because it's a privilege to be part of this program. It's a privilege to coach at Notre Dame. It's a privilege to wear that shirt and that logo that says ND on your chest. Because you put your chest out when you wear that shirt, You got to make sure you got the right guy that can actually do it. Because Chad Bowen didn't look like he had no chest at all, my boy. You see Marcus Freeman, Washington, and everybody else, except for Denbrock and Golden. They got to understand that they're veterans, so we got to give them a pass. But if you're young and proud, bro, you wear that shirt and you make sure your chest pops out enough to see that logo come out. And that's exactly what Marcus Freeman is going to do. He's bringing that logo out. He's putting some respect behind Notre Dame because we are Notre Dame. And here's the thing. Kendrick Lamar played that song yesterday. You're not like us. College nation, college country, college, whatever you want to say. You can't be like us. We are Notre Dame. Don't forget that.
There you go, man. I like it. Hey, I always appreciate you calling me when you're working, man. That's extra effort. It means the world to me.
Yeah, thank you, John. All right, guys. Hey, stay motivated, guys. Stop talking about Brian Kelly. Let that guy be. Let him move on. Let him look like a fool. Let him be a dumbass that he is already. Look, we got Marcus Freeman. What else do you want?
Man, hey, thank you, man. Have a good work week. Take care. Man, that guy. You could tell it isn't the easiest thing for him when he's got you could tell when he's calmed down the energy and how hard it is for him. All right, you guys. That's going to be it for the show on a Monday. You never know what you're going to get in the offseason. We got a bunch of news coming and going. I'm not sure what to make of all this with Notre Dame, and we'll see what happens with Mickens. We'll see what happens with the GM thing. This is all we're just kind of floating around in middle land, you guys. Floating around in middle land. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for the chats. Thanks for the donations. 7 o'clock, me and Mike Goolsby, Patreon Live. We'll see you guys there. Thank you. Have a good Monday.